Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Supercoach Challenges, and today we've got the round 16 review. And as you can see, it was a decent round. Not the highest scoring. I think there was obviously a lot more people you'll see with higher scores, but 2,479 was a top 10% score and pushed us up quite a few ranks into the top 90,000. So closing in on, the original goal was a top 50k, and I thought partway, probably before the buys, I thought, oh, it's probably not going to happen, but 50,000 is there for the taking, possibly. It's really going to be dependent on the next few rounds. Can we keep climbing 5,000 ranks? If we climb 5 to 6,000 ranks for the rest of the year, what is there? Seven rounds left. 7 times 6, 42. So 42,000. Yeah. Well, that's well inside. But if we can get to 50k, that'd be really nice, considering where we started at with this challenge with 400k players only. Would have been nice for a few more mid prices to come on like they did last year, but that didn't happen. But anyway, we're still here, and as you can see, 2,479 for the score this week, so can't be unhappy with that. So let's kind of see what the difference makers were. So we went the VC on, this has been changed, so let's undo the changes quickly. It's just positional by the looks. But we went the VC on Neale, and took that because 143, you take that every day. And considering the rest of the scoring, especially in this midfield, it looks like it was a really good idea to take that score because Stewart and Dacos did really well, but Stewart was on like 80 to that last quarter and then it went absolutely berserk. Dacos just played a Dacos game against Gold Coast. That's what he does, racks it up. And I guess you were probably risking it going on like a Merrett against Port Adelaide, but otherwise pretty happy. If we look at the scoring as well, the backline was pretty steady. Chess actually decent score considering, but Keays was a bit of a letdown. He did have 31 disposals though, so it's probably a bit of ball use / position, not position, but like the possession ratio probably didn't help him. North got pretty much destroyed by the Crows. They scored fairly well, but I think Keays was under a lot of pressure. A lot of the times I saw him with the ball. He got a lot of like scrappy handballs, which count for disposable, but not much for Supercoach. And one of those ones you kind of just write off. I know he's got Geelong this week, but hopefully he can have a better game coming up. And moving down the team, Bont just played a bonk game, pretty average for him. Merrett, 168. Man, this guy is good. And since he's been brought in, it's been very high averaging. What is it like? His backhand is just always so good. Like 162, 110, 135. If we do the quick maths on the average since we brought him in, it'd be pretty high, I'd say. Let's see. So, the 5 round alone is going to be huge, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 135 6 round average, like ridiculous point. And it's what you like to see. 5 rounds 129, 3 rounds 133. So I thought Parrish might affect him a little bit. Actually, we brought Merrett in last round. Sorry, misplaced that. Forget what I said. Merrett was in the end a pretty good trade in last week. Getting that 160 was really nice. Yeah, I forgot that I traded him in this team this last year. Apparently I did this in 2014, 2015. That's pretty interesting. Was it just there for no reason? Anyway, historical trades were last week. Yeah, just Merrett for Humphrey, which was a pretty good in. So we'll take that. I think that's like a 140 point swing. I think Humphrey had like a 30. So really, really happy with that. Moving down, obviously Neale had that big score led. I think, it just wasn't a tight game and he wasn't getting much of the loose ball. So lower scoring for him. Libba doing Libba things. Brayshaw had a down game day. Didn't watch this game, but they got absolutely destroyed. So especially at the start anyway, so not really surprised by the slow score for him. And still just pretty disappointing, but I'm thinking we probably have to hold on to him. I don't know. Interesting one to see. Wits, all of the ruckman didn't score well in this game, so I'm just thinking it was so. I think that it might be overlooked that it was a very free flowing game. There wasn't much stoppage. From what I watched of the Collingwood Gold Coast game, it was just Collingwood just running Gold Coast off their legs easily, like getting it into their forward line at will and not much coming the other way. And I feel like it was just not very contested. Not many ball ups, which meant not much chance for guys like Wits and Cameron to get the hit outs they normally would. And I think that may have affected the score. It was good to see Darcy bounce back, and the forward line was. I mean, Taranto had his first down game of the year, and Gordon and Rosie played really well. And Benny Keays only won CBA this week, but didn't stop him going huge. He's just such a heavy worker. Like off the ball, he does so much running, and he gets on the end of goals because of his work rate. And really glad to have got him in at such a cheap price. He looks like he's not going anywhere with the scoring currently. Now, there's not really much to talk about. I think if we talk about some of the players we kind of chatted about in the last video, I mean, Houston kicked that game winner, which really helped empower his score up above 150. But if you had got him in, you'd be really happy. The 2% of teams would be very happy. And, as a pod, he's still very well priced. Callum Mills, for people who are looking for a cheap player, he's prime for the picking. His break even is now down to like 49. So if you want to get him, you have to get him now. And I mean, it's like a straight swap for Ashcroft if you're holding, and nearly for Seamus Mitchell if you held him as well. So that's also good to look at. Other news today was that Fife is probably being ruled out for the season. Now, I had the cover and just played Windhager on field, and looks like it was a pretty good decision. Sadly, the Fife in is not the best decision. If you'd taken Sheldrick at the same time, you'd be really, really happy. The annoying part is we probably picked Fife thinking that it'd at least be covered, that you could maybe loop and would play the rest of the season, whereas Sheldrick looked like he could miss out. But now with Warner missing, it's just opening it up for Sheldrick in the midfield, and he's going to be scoring really well. So the owners of Sheldrick, which I think is like 10%, is it? 14%, very happy with this pickup. I mean, 150k, easy money, and probably going to go well past that as well. Averaging a 3 round of 95, like that's what you want. And he just seems like he's everywhere around the ball. When I was watching, it's just ridiculous how good he looks. Probably be in a few teams next year as a bit of a mid-pricer probably. Anyway, looking at the team, so yeah, our bench cover is quite bad now. Not the worst. I'm just going to switch the team around and get everyone on field. So this is what it's going to look like now. What if we optimize, what's it come up with? It puts Rosie up into here, Windhager off, and it puts Fife on field, which is interesting. But yeah, the news has come out that Fife should be out for the rest of the season. So I'm thinking that we will be playing Windhager here, and we're going to probably loop him and Sheasel each week, I think, if possible. I think it is possible this week. And I'm thinking we trade Fife. I'd really like to kind of trade Steele as well, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that either. So Rosie into here. And now the decision is what do we want? Do we want a mid or do we want a like a Houston type? It's a difficult one. I kind of wouldn't mind being able to maybe even use these last 2 trades to get a Steele up or something. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like Steele's playing so poorly. And between him and Day, it just feels like you're leaking points, and Sheasel to a degree as well. I mean, a lot of people still have Sheasel though, so let's have a look at. It's not an issue, but I mean, I guess Dunkley's there as well. He got subbed out though. Break even of 161. Check his score of 158, which is pretty crazy. He's in 71% of teams, so that's an antipod we're going to have for the rest of the season. So do I pick like an Oliver as like a antipod there? Well, not antipod, like a counterpod, because I think, well, he's down to 20%. I'm actually surprised 20% held him. I mean, he's going to be pretty decent for the back end. Nothing like Sicily, but like for ownership wise, but still 20% holding. Yeah, that's pretty decent. 1 in 5 coaches still. I mean, like 1 in 5 have Merrett as well. So yeah, pretty interesting that so many don't have him. So it's like, what do we want to do? I feel like what we could do is we could like actually do something fairly decent with this. We could do two trades to something actually pretty decent. 1.25. So if I go like, I could go Houston and then like Larry. What do we think about that? That's quite good. Leaves us one trade, not much money, but I mean, it really fills out the team. I mean, you could change Oliver and you could go to like a Butters. I don't mind as well. Bit of a cheaper option, leaves a bit of cash in the bank, still a pod. I think he's only in like what? Oh, he's up to 22%. That's pretty wild. I didn't realize he got traded in so much last week. He was like nobody had him. Love it if you could see the percentage traded in. Oh, well, this is just now, but yeah, this wouldn't be a bad pick either. So I'm thinking, oh, do I want to oversaturate with poor players is the issue? We could see what's below Houston's pay range. I guess there is Doc. Oh, imagine if I had 3 trades, you could go Butters, Houston, Doc, Nearly, which would be quite tasty. Just put Dawson down here, and then like the team feels a lot better. So maybe that's what we look at with the last trade. I don't know. I feel like Day's not going to be too bad. It's just his bad is really bad, and his good's really good. So it's like not like a Laird whose like floor is about 84, like around about that mark, 90 most weeks. Yes, the other defenders. What other defenders do we have to choose from? Like Sicily, but he's not back till next week. And Doc, 3-rounder. Let's look at the 3-rounder. It's pretty much just like Sicily and Lawson. Ryan's been playing fairly well as well, actually. Ridley had his down game. It was due to come. All right. I think other than Houston, I don't really want anyone. So we're going to stick with Oliver for now. Can't really go to Petrarca. Maybe I should just hold still. I don't know. Doesn't feel tastiest going 5 out and steal out, but I don't think I have much other choice. But no, I don't want to do that. And then we'll into I don't know, like what is their I forgot players I can afford. What is their altogether average? It's just Dunkley, isn't it? Petrarca's been playing really well actually as well. We got the top 4 players for 3-round, which is nice. So yeah, it just feels like Oliver, to be honest. We go Oliver, and then we see what happens next week. What's still going to go down? His break even slow, so it's not like he's going to go very far. And this is done as we get you on field. We've got BC captain options galore in the midfield, especially with Oliver back. Hopefully he plays this week. Maybe if this isn't Oliver, I change to I don't know who. I really don't know who. Maybe Houston, just because of how hot he's playing at the moment. He does look like he's a lot more around the ball, which is nice as well. Sarong's there for 562. That feels really nice. I feel like the value in Sarong at that price is really nice, but I don't like having him and Brayshaw. That's the problem. It always seems like one goes off and the other doesn't. But I think that if you do need a player, Sarong looks like he could be really nice because he's had obviously that bad game, and it looks like he's really starting to. Well, he had the injury, and it seems he's rebounding from that quite well now. So for now, we'll keep it at Oliver. Not much else to say this week. Looking at the 3-2-1, we're going to give, I think, the 3 to Merrett. I think that's pretty well deserved. Do I rate the game Dacos had against Gold Coast? I mean, high scoring, yes, but was it a hard competition? No, I think Merritt's 168 against Port was pretty ridiculous, which is why he's getting the 3. I want to give it to Keays just because of his price and how good he's been, but it feels a bit biased at the moment with so many good scores. You know what? I am going to give the 1 to Keays because he got the 124 off 1 CBA, which, if he had the CBAs of all the rest of these players, he might be a lot higher. And we'll give Stewart the 2 because he saved his score from looking like a pretty low score. So, yeah, 3-2-1, Merrett, Stewart, and Keays. As far as any other players go, I just saw that Richmond debuting Jacob Bauer and who's the other player? Jacob Bauer and someone else. So if you're looking for rookies that might be able to play as cover on there, those two look like they're going to be able to cover for you a little bit. Yeah, Sam Banks and Jacob Bauer. So Bauer's a forward line player. 123k, and Sam Banks. Was he the one they picked up in the defensive midfielder? I like that. So if you're looking for a defensive midfielder swing, Sam Banks could be the guy for you. Especially, I think Richmond's run home isn't too bad. Yeah, post next 3 are tasty. Melbourne a little bit hard, but midfielders don't do too bad. And then it's Dogs, St Kilda, North are nice, and then Port. So keep an eye on those two if you're looking for a player who might get a game come the rest of the season. Otherwise, hopefully all of your teams are going well. Hopefully, you're finishing the team fairly well. Be careful what you do with your trades because it looks like there could still be some carnage to come along the way, and try and hold 1 or 2 or even have something decent on the bench to cover players. I think that's probably something this team lacks a little bit. I mean, we got Chesser, we've got Windhager, and we got Ford. So realistically, if I need a player to cover each line, I have it. It'd just be nice to get something a little bit better on the bench that could cover as well, but not to be. We just run out of trades. We've got 1 more boost as well, so which is interesting. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. This was kind of a quick one, not much chatter. I think a lot of us are past trades now. We're just kind of finishing up our team, seeing how we're scoring. Hopefully we can push towards the top 50k. We won't be that far away, I don't think. If you've enjoyed the video, if you've enjoyed the journey along this year, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're on the back end now, but I'll still be putting up review videos every week and maybe 1 or 2 videos about trades. I mean, it's pretty hard to talk about now with so many people not having trades, but we're all on the home straight, not long now. And remember, it is a game. Have a bit of fun. If it's not the season for you, or if you want to do something different, do something different, because honestly, you never know, especially if you're in those top ranks, you pick that player who's a low-owned pod. They could just work out really, really well for you and see you skyrocket up the ranks. So give it a shot. And it's kind of like what I did with Ben Keays. I just was like, he plays for the Crows. I like the Crows. I like Ben Keays. I kind of thought he would actually be quite a good midfielder this year, but with the role at the start of the year, it wasn't to be. But he's really showing what his scoring can be like. He's in that nice age bracket, and it looks like the Crows are giving him a bit more run up the field, not just in the forward line, and they're starting to really click with their forward line, which makes him, more attacking as a mid forward as well. So, think of it that way. Remember to have fun with it, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.